She's
Good.
wearing it,
Oh,
and it's
jeez.
getting moldy.
Yes, you were aware this is a visual medium, that you were going to be on television, and you couldn't have thought, brush my hair? Oh my God. Okay.
And I think if you remember in the opening statements, the defense talked about all these third-party investigations that went on in the opening. And the easiest thing would have been me to do what all those did, which is say, don't blame us, blame somebody else, or everybody's to blame, therefore you can't hold anybody responsible. That would have been the easiest thing. So, I've never bowed to political pressure. And that's not what this case is about. The defendant, in their opening statement, they talked to you about, and they did here in the closing, that he was not assigned to the school. He relayed information. He drove to the school. He went into the building. He called for SWAT. He stood perimeter. He evacuated students. He had no shields. He checked on another officer. He got the building plans. He secured a master key.
And which one of those are factually incorrect, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which one of those are factually incorrect?
There was even testimony during the trial that he evacuated students, and wasn't that a good thing? A good thing. And he relayed information over the radio, and wasn't that a good thing? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about doing a good thing. I am not standing in front of you. In this case, it's not been about handing out participation trophies.
Jesus Christ. Randy Hill is the definition of a mother effing participation goddamn award, and he's not on trial.
So saving kids, running and getting shot, running into the hallway and getting shot at, or participation. Mrs. Oh God, I hope it's a miss. How about you tell that to the two officers who were shot through the wall, that all they did was participation trophy worthy?
Yeah.
You,
How about
you can't.
well, the state is doubling down on tyranny and cuntiness. Let's see. It's bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for them.
That's not what this case is about. This case is about, and it's always been about, holding officers to the duty that's mandated for them in the law. Mr. Turner and I, as prosecutors, we had these big books that we're supposed to follow, and the laws and all that, and he described to you that there's a special law in his books. One special law with...
Supposed to? No, you're obligated to. Jesus.
Yeah, that's kind of your fucking... Did anyone in Uvalde know how to do their damn job? Because this is the prosecutor for Uvalde, and it explains a shit ton. How much fluoride is in the water?
Actual fuck?
With regard to children. And that's what this case is about. All of this, the personal attacks, all of that was an attempt to justify the unjustified.
Personal attacks? No, he said that your case sucks balls, not that you suck balls, because you don't, because no one would date you.
No, I would assume it would be somebody sucking her balls.
Yeah, so it's not like we've been making those attacks. Nico didn't say that. He just said your case sucked. Not that you as a person suck. I think you as a person suck. Allegedly in Minecraft.
Viable, in my mind. We're not talking about people being perfect. We're not talking about pretzels. And I'm not here to send mixed messages. I'm here to say that when you are a peace officer for a school district and you raise your right hand and say, I am going to be a peace officer, I'm going to do my job, that you're going to be held responsible. You're going to be held to that duty. You know, when we had the active shooter training that was brought in, that active shooter training goes through all the mass shootings of schools back to Columbine. At the time that the Robb shooting happened, we've had, 23 years of mass shootings. And school districts have begun their own law enforcement police force. That's saying, we're not just going to depend on the local police department, we're not going to depend on the sheriff's office. We, this school district, the Uvalde Independent School District, we are going to have our own police force. So what does that mean? That means these buildings.
Dear God, did you not practice this? First of all, they can't see because it's covered by your body. There is a tripod. Dear Jesus.
Oh, gee, I just realized she's wearing white as symbolism for being good.
Nick, that would require her to have a functional and logical mind and understand symbolism. And I don't think we've
No,
proven that she has a functional brain.
look at the watch. You don't match it that way unless it's an active decision. It's a
Okay,
white
I'll give her
watch.
cunning.
Yeah, she is trying to symbolize I'm the good guy. And it's
she
failing in the in the YSL trial when the entire prosecution team for closing arguments shows up in red, the very color they claim is gang color.
Also, I wore white to my weddings, both of them, and hey, we got them, legitimate before we crowned, but wearing white doesn't mean a whole damn lot, okay?
Jeez.
Buildings, there are their homes.
I hope
Those
she falls
hallways,
over.
there are their roads. Those students in those classrooms, those are their people to protect. Even Mr. Gonzalez, the defendant, says that in his video recorded statement to the Rangers. He says, it was a car wreck, but that's not my responsibility, that's the local PD's responsibility. But when I heard that there was a gunman and he was near the school and entering the school, that's when I got in and went. Because that's his jurisdiction, that school district. That's his jurisdiction. Those students are his people. The charge that you have talks about the legal duty that the law enforcement is supposed to be responsible for. And then it talks about the Texas Education Code. And that's because our legislature had mandated that. And we cannot turn a blind eye to that. Their own expert witness talked about being in San Antonio and how he went into hot situations. Ladies and gentlemen, I would argue to you there's nothing hotter than a gunman in a school. That's pretty hot in my.
What the hell am I watching?
She actually thinks this. I mean, this is rebuttal. This is their final moment to say something to this jury. I was expecting dead children on placards. Think of the children. And that would have been better than this pile of shit. That would have at least had a purpose. What the fuck is going on here?
This is a political speech. She started off with the thesis idea that she cannot be, politically motivated. This is a goddamn political stump speech. I hold people accountable. I'm doing this. The officers that did. This is a political speech. This is ridiculous.
This is Mean Girls Part 2. Let's try to make a trial.
And we have training, and he said, if you have training or you don't, you figure it out. This defendant had training. He even.
No, that's not what he said. Not even close.
Also, if your training doesn't tell you how to get to the place, telling someone to get to the place, Nick, you can tell me how to, upload a stream, but if I don't have a computer, it doesn't help me a whole hell of a lot.
No, and it's like saying, "Oh, she must have some kind of what was the word I saw over there? Does she have early onset dementia? No, that demands a brain to begin with."
Have we ruled out that cordyceps fungus hasn't actually broken out and we are actually living in The Last of Us, the game?
Ladies and gentlemen, mad cow disease.
Pretty much. This is what happens when you eat cat food with your cats.
Yeah.
Stay away from the fancy feast.
No, she. Here's your filet mignon, dear kittens. I'll just open this. Yeah.
This is so dumb.
I bet she wears cat ears when she does it as well.
The defense would have you ignore all of that, all the things that they say that he did and that he's the low man on the totem pole. No, he's not. He's the top man. He was a
Wax on, wax off.
This isn't the case you're looking for. Her midichlorian count is really high, but she's a Sith Lord. That's the problem. Emperor Palpatine, I am the one
I
that's
can't
been...
believe she's not even addressing the facts the defense brought. She's just ignoring them. Oh, look over here, a squirrel.
And Nico knew that he could bait her into doing this. That's why he kept addressing her. You could see her smiling, or you could see him smiling. He knew that she would respond emotionally. I'm going to go a little no tie bronca, but because her hysterical female, emotions took over, this is how she's acting. Now, had she approached this logically like I would, I'd still be pissed off, but I'd wait until Nico wasn't expecting it, allegedly in Minecraft.
Police officer for the school district that showed up first. And why do we go back to having school police officers since Columbine? Because on any given day, you can have a monster that makes his way into your school. On any given day. On any given day, they would have you believe that because there was a wreck outside the school, that confused me. Don't hold me responsible because, the wreck's too much, so not my day. They would have you believe that on any given day where we have bailouts in the community, bailouts happen all the time. Even in large urban areas, you have people who outrun the police. But they want you to believe that because there were bailouts on this given day, but don't hold me responsible. Not my day, not my responsibility. They would have you believe that because he wasn't assigned to that particular school on any given day, don't hold me responsible, not my day, not my responsibility. They would have you believe that because the doors weren't locked, it's not my responsibility. On that given day, the doors weren't locked, so not my day, not my responsibility.
What? The doors weren't locked, not my responsibility. No, of course. Of fucking course it's not his responsibility. Not his school. They was supposed to be locked by the school administration who left them fucking unlocked.
Yeah, and what kind of school has a heightened sense of danger because bailouts are ubiquitous and then continues to keep the doors unlocked? I would think that the first bailout, just like the first shot, would be a notice to the school to protect the children. Are we going to, charge the school for not taking that first initial bailout as notice? Because the case could be made. Now, I'm a twice college dropout, so I don't know if it's legal, but I could use the same fact pattern to argue that the school is ultimately responsible.
Yeah. What I'm hesitant to say this, but if they had a collage of the dead children, that would still be better rebuttal closing than what she's doing right now.
I thought that the guy was awful. No, this woman is making me want Bill back, and I never thought I'd say that.
On any given day, I only had a pistol. He had a rifle, so it's not my day, it's not my responsibility. And then they would have us tell, the argument is because you had 3 other officers show up who believed that they were being shot at. Don't hold me responsible, because on any given day, if you've got 3 other people that showed up, it's not my day, it's not my responsibility. And what strikes me so much in this case, and something that we believe the evidence has been brought to you that's going on and on, is the contrast in the training of the schools. If you think about it, since Columbine, the students have been taught, and you heard that, lock the door, lights out, be quiet.
Did you just hear yourself, lady? Number 1, lock the door.
Well, now,
lady, did you actually read that from that paper? Number 1, lock the door.
Also, maybe don't make a, finger pew
Yeah,
pew
gun
at the
finger
jury.
motion. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm
That
not telling you how to job, ma'am, but seems like a bad
nobody
idea.
tells her how to job.
Yeah, she's a lady lawyer.
We are basically teaching these kids, and the kids in room
She's
11 and room
actually
12 were
doing it all
taught
the time.
to practice
She's just
I
lighting them up.
can't unsee it.
impending death. You don't cry and you don't scream. But we're going to teach you what you do when a monster makes his way into the school. We're going to have you rehearse your own death.
What?
What?
Okay, I can't listen to this woman anymore. I really can't. Rehearse your own death. This is.
Now, luckily, she didn't take 45 minutes. Let's see her.
All right. Okay, we only have a
No,
couple more
I mean,
minutes.
she should be almost done here.
But yet, we have active shooter training that says to go to the fire that the defendant taught. But we're going to ignore that. Because on any given day, if he says, not my day, we're supposed to just look the other way. And I am sending a message. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, because I want officers to know those days are over. We're not going to continue to teach.
So this is a political case, and you are building your political reputation upon it. So when you said that you don't bow to political pressure, you were lying.
Holy shit, monks.
Oh, let's see if Andrea, well, she's doing her own stream, but I'm like,
children
Andrea, get
to
in here.
rehearse
What the
their
hell
own
is
death
this?
And not hold them to the training that's mandated by law. That when you hear the gunfire, you go to it. You go to the shots. You stop the dying, and you hold civilians, children, above yourself. You hold them, they're the highest priority of life. I think it's Sally and Mr. Turner touched this with you about the defendant's statement, and if you're going to get all the evidence to go back in there. He says in that statement, the teacher, she told me, he's over there, she pointed, he's over there, he's wearing all black. I think that statement is very telling, because in that statement,
Who
he
also
said,
said
on 3 different occasions, I
he walked through the south door, meaning, oh, he's already inside. Right? Right, Miss Gun Pointy Finger?
Okay, I
Showing
was
how you wish your...
I was saying that I was not going to be shocked if the verdict didn't come back today because of the amount of evidence. I think the jury is going to be like, he's not guilty. They're going to want a quick verdict now. If they were even leaning slightly, this woman's incoherent babbling has pissed them off.
She has to have had this rehearsed. Speaking to somebody. And whoever that person was, who didn't tell her this is shit, make something better, is probably the other prosecutor.
It's the same person that tells women that acting bitchy and shrill is the same as assertive and being a leader. No, you don't have to be shrill. You don't have to, she could have argued eloquently and stayed within the statute. She decided to make this a tit for tat. We didn't lie to you. She decided to bring emotion into it and make claims that she can't substantiate. And, point her finger gun at the jury.
There. I walked to the school. I walked. And you contrast that with Miss Flores, and what is she saying? I ran, and I tell him, we need to get in there.
I ran so far
We need to get in there.
away.
She's not saying you go. She's saying we. Because in her mind, I believe you can infer that those kids and the protection of those kids are still tantamount to her. And there's
She
no
ran
evidence that
to
had
the
active shooter
other...
training.
She went
Oh,
other directions. Not building 4. Other directions. After she bugged the hell out of Gonzalez for 2 to 7 minutes.
There's no evidence that she taught active shooter training. She was just a teacher. So are we going to continue to hold teachers and students to a higher level of responsibility than we...
Tell me it's not political again. 'cause
They didn't lock the fucking doors.
this is a stump speech. We're not going to hold teachers, responsible for the cop job. The cops are there to serve and protect. Those teachers shouldn't have even had to lock those doors.
We are going to hold police officers for school districts who raise their hand and say, I will be a police officer. Those hallways will be mine. Those children are my people. Those classrooms are my houses. I will protect them. Are we going to continue to do that? No. Because on any given day, you can be like Mr. Salinas and Ms. Torres, who came in and testified to you. They dropped their children off for school that day, and the next time they saw their children, it was at the hospital. Mr. Salinas told you that the child that he dropped off for school that day is not the same child he picked up.
Hey, is it the same child that you misspelled their names on a lot of the charging documents?
Yeah.
Miss, this isn't political.
Because on any given day, a monster can make his way into an elementary school. Miss Garcia testified that she dropped her child off at school, she went to the award ceremony, and her daughter wanted to come home with her. And she said, no, I paid $2 for that pizza party, you're gonna go and have a good time. And then she never saw her daughter again. Because on any given day, that can happen. We know that, we see it. Nueces County is not any different from Uvalde County. It's just not. What happened to Uvalde on May 24th can happen anywhere at any time. And
Are you accepting that most schools are unlocked now? Or is that, I guess, what are the pertinent facts you're starting with? That every school is unsecure?
if it's going to happen, and if we have laws mandating what the responsibility of a law enforcement peace officer is for a school district, then we better be ready to back it up.
With evidence.
You had the teachers come testify to you about what was going on. And what do we know about what the defendant had versus the children in rooms 111 and 112? The defendant had his car. It was on the corner building. He had cover. What did the children have? They had chairs and desks.
They
The
had
defendant had a pistol.
unlocked doors.
What did the
That's what the kids had. Unlocked doors.
And
Because-
also,
Yeah.
yeah, so the teacher made a really big statement. The teacher that wasn't going to check to see if his door was actually locked, that's the officer's job. So are we now saying that the teachers are allowed to fuck off on their duties, which again, he was in something unimaginable. We shouldn't be charging anyone. We should be fixing the damn problems. But he made a conscious choice that it wasn't his job to go check that door because there were shots going over there.
children have in rooms 111 and 112? They had unarmed teachers. The defendant had a vest on. And what do the children have in rooms 111 and 112? They had curtains to hide behind.
Unlocked doors.
I would also, if you get all the evidence back, that you listen to the defendant's statement. And I think it's always telling, is when that ranger asked him, why didn't you engage? Why didn't you go and approach? And the look on the defendant's face is like, not me. Really? I mean, it's like he catches himself.
Fuck you.
Ma'am, do we really want to talk about appearances? Because I have
Yeah.
been being kind. All right. We don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't his day. On any given day that this monster made his way into Robb Elementary, that wasn't his day. You heard a lot about the time compression, the auditory exclusion, the fatal funnel, the OODA loop, echoing. You even heard about a fatal field. Fatal field. Because you know.
Ma'am, I'm wishing desperately for a fatal field at this moment, but it's your voice that I'm trying to get away from.
The fatal tunnel is every time she opens her mouth, because it's only stupid.
Yes.
But we all know on any given day there may be a fatal field,
We die.
and we have to be ready. You're going to get the all the evidence behind you sent back with you, and you'll have the radio traffic, and you can look at that and decide if it's 1 minute or 3 minutes. But even a minute and 48 seconds, well,
It's your charge! Jesus
Jesus!
fucking Christ! It's your own timeline!
Nick, this isn't a la carte. You get to pick your own justice. Fucking just take whatever thing. This is not choose your own case time. This is not the Mad Libs of justice. Holy fuck, what is going on here?
This is why I believe that the defense should have the last word. Because, oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. And they could bring up Trooper Paul to rebut her garbage. They could bring up
the
Jerry
crash test
Holman.
dummy.
Yeah.
What did they call him? Like Action Ted or something? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
You can decide if it's 1 minute or 3 minutes. No, you already established your timeline. 1 minute, 4 seconds to the front door that should have been locked. Then an additional number of seconds where he is firing around, and then he enters through another unlocked fucking door. That is your timeline.
Yeah, and do you think they're going to have cops? If cops know that they can be thrown under the bus by this particular DA in Uvalde, do you think they're going to show up to anything?
No, they are all going to be Trooper Hill, doing fuck all at a safe distance.
put up here, 1 minute and 48 seconds. I don't know if anybody just sat still for 1 minute and 48 seconds. That's a very long time to distract, engage, and delay. And his backdrop was right here. It was right here. All you
No,
have to
it
do
was the houses over.
was to
This woman's a DA. She's like, his backdrop was the school. No, it was the houses behind the school, you moron, you flibbity gibbet.
In order for him to have a backdrop, he has to have a line of sight. He never saw him.
Fair point, Nick.
Yeah. I wish it was Friday. I would be smashed drunk by now.
Me too.
an attempt to distract, delay, or engage. I know this case is difficult, and it has been difficult.
So much so I couldn't brush my hair.
But we cannot continue to let children die in vain.
Hey, as a tip from a former theater kid, if you have to work that hard to bring up not even a tear or a quaver in your voice, don't do the dramatic pause. You've Shatnered the shit out of it, and it only works for Shatner and
Yeah.
Calculon.
Yeah, that break in your voice, bullshit. That's all theater.
It's Vicks. You just put a little in your nose and you water up.
Yeah,
Or
it
pull
didn't
in
work
the-
for it didn't
nose
work
hair.
for Amber Heard, and it does not work for Fander Disturbed here.
We cannot. New Wessex County is not any different from Uvalde County. We cannot let 19 children die in vain and another 10 to suffer. They're going to be
Proving the defense's point. We don't have the monster. They can't die in vain. So convict this asshole. Did he have anything to do with it? No. But they died. Don't you see?
Jesus Christ.
That suffering for a long time.
And who the fuck sold the
On
children
behalf of those 19
$30,000 worth of gear? Why is that person not on trial? Did they even try to find the guy who... This was an unemployed young man in a fucking in a $80,000 truck with ammo for $5,000 to $10,000, gear, everything. Who gave it to him? Who sold it to him? For what fucking money? I haven't heard of any trial about people aiding.
Yeah, why was
shooter.
that gate unlocked? Because it was only supposed to be unlocked with someone standing right next to it. Who unlocked it prior to that?
Yeah.
Because the defense brought that out. Why were all the doors unlocked, exterior and interior?
I respectfully request that after your deliberations, that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Oh, she's done.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will have the charge of the court back there. You'll have the evidence. I will ask you to deliberate and give us the word when you have a verdict, and we will alert everyone and give time to get people back in the courtroom, and we'll bring you out and receive the verdict. We're going to have lunch served in the jury room for you. You're welcome to deliberate while you're eating lunch. And could I ask the three alternates to remain? And we're going to have them go back, and I'll talk to you further. Okay? So everyone rise for the jury.
That was a horrible rebuttal closing.
Yeah, I expected crap, but I didn't expect that.
No, this was a whole new... This is... Remember the 32-second opening statement a number of years back that I covered?
Yes,
This
I do.
is it, but as